generational events. I'm not sure what's the right word for it, but the key events of a generation.
Yeah.
Kind of internet on the whole is kind of sukupolvikokemus in Finnish. Kind of, but some of these political cases, for instance, like when we now see this online petition is gathering names for the gender-neutral marriage. In a way, we can also look at that movement from a perspective that getting this law through is something we want to be part of. Every generation, every person wants to be part of something meaningful, and so it's not always that we have this specific political agenda that we are trying to drive. It's also that there are always some political agendas that seem like the image of the time, and we want to be a part of that. So, internet makes this like it's like a more efficient, because it's easier to define those key questions, and it's easier to be like manifestos. It's kind of, for instance, or like I think the presidential campaign of Haavisto that you mentioned previously is somewhat part of this generational Evans phenomenon So, because I think in Finland the choosing president isn't that political in the same way that it would be in the United States, for example. So
the amount of power is considerably less, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but also, I think the last election, there was discussion all around the election that we are choosing a value leader.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. And I think that made it even more prominent that it was more about this kind of the mood of the time. Which also created the...
I've quite often heard this. There was this ultra to support Mr. Haavisto, the president, and how quickly the tickets were sold, and how the whole the news about the event spread around to the social media, and it was sold out quickly. And it would be really interesting to know how people found out about Woodstock.
Yeah, I was just about. This was my first thought. Like, I was about to ask, like, do you think that social media made it possible? But we had a Woodstock.
Yeah, in a way, all the records we get now that something big happened.
Yeah.
It will be broken. And in a way, when we sample all the movements of the people doing stuff, we find examples from elsewhere. It's always, but our perspective is distorted about this. What we find interesting, what we find like a defining of this time. For instance, Arab Spring. The role of social media was a huge topic in the Western world. But people who were on the streets there, quite many of them they didn't even use Twitter. Many of them even didn't have a computer or internet access. In some countries the internet was shut down. Then the congregation went there. It was pieces of paper and writings on the wall, on the real walls.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and it's in that kind of cases, of course, the technology helps. It makes it faster, and it makes it in some ways safer, because you can be more anonymous. But it's not the root cause of it. There must be some dissent. People are not happy. In all countries, there are these key moments someone dies, someone becomes a martyr, something that breaks the back of the camel.
Yeah, it's not social media itself that
but it of course helps.
Makes it faster. Actually, this gets me the question that do you think that there is differences in offline and online participation to political activity? Because we now have talked that it is not the root cause, but it makes it a bit different. It makes it faster through social media, for instance.
The activity offline is doing the heavy lifting. Without those persons, there wouldn't be online activity. For instance, we need models how to talk about things. That's one good example about the Finns, and on the other way the group that is almost racist, or just critical towards what is immigration. You can give credit to Jussi Halla-aho in giving an example how to talk without getting caught. And that you can be critical and use words and phrases and discussion models that get the message onward, but it cannot be stopped because it's kind of it's clean enough.
Yeah, the line. Defining the line.
And the same phenomenon in all political activity online and discussion, that we need those how to talk. What do we say? What do we think? How do we respond to these critics? When someone criticizes, when someone asks a question that's difficult, how do we answer those? Or just, what can I say that is that appeals to people? And then there comes these memes that you mentioned previously. So if you consider the meme theory high level, actually, usually when we talk about memes online, we talk about those images that are passed on. But those are like replicators, copy paste, exact copies. We share them by clicking or sharing, or we find it funny, or we feel that we see something that people need to know this, or people will laugh at this, or this will make someone happy, one aspect that has been studied to sharing online is that if we feel anger about something, when we feel frustrated, it relieves to spread the news, the information. So this has been studied on news, but it applies also to stuff on social media. When we see something, we tend to pass it along because it makes us feel that we did something. And here we come back to that clickbait.
Yeah, exactly. You did something.
I did something. And even though it's just a reaction, I'm being provoked. I click something. The message goes on, and I feel like I did something, but actually it's the source of the information, who designed it, it's the true manipulator, true communicator. It uses human channels to make it look more.
True.
And other form of memes are those mimetic memes. Those who share the form, it mutates, but you can identify that it's the same meme.
Like Harlem Shake.
Harlem Shake, same form, same music, same rules, and the people and the small ideas change. And we like to just look at the same thing because it's every time a bit more different, a bit creative.
And yet recognizable to the same that was before.
And